This is one of the patches that I think that most of us have been waiting for. All of the changes that we have here, some of the changes that were highly requested, some of the things that we actually wanted to happen ASAP, some of the things that were impeding us to enjoy the game and the many aspects of the game as it used to be. I'm going to have to play a little bit more, I'm going to have to test a little bit more on how is this going to impact. Like always, there's the patch notes. It's going to be in the link in the video description, because the patch notes, they are just huge. It's just too much of a read. If you want to go read it for yourself, then be my guest, but it would be too long of a video, so I'm just going to give you the highlights and the most important things that we're going to have right here. So first and foremost, the improvements for performance. This is something that weekly happens, sometimes even twice a week, thrice a week. It happens several times during the week. This is something that it always happens. So in this case scenario, what they did is that they have a noticeable improvement in performance while you are in Umbral. So if you're going to do some Umbral, a little bit of more Umbral exploration, that was the focus of this patch. Your performance should be a little bit better while you are traversing Umbral. There's a new lock-on system. The new lock-on system, this is one of the aspects that many of us were requesting, were crying out for. And we felt that the locking system, while you move from one target to another, it wasn't really working that properly. Although on the settings there's an option that includes the legacy option for the previous default. In case you actually did enjoy the previous one, you can most certainly be using the previous one. I have to be fairly honest with you, I've never had issues myself personally. I know that people has, but me personally I haven't, so I don't see any change to switch it over, although I might as well tweak it a little bit. Now, one of the biggest ones, one of the most important ones, in that there's a huge buffs and some nerfs when it comes to PvP and PVE balancing. This is something that a lot of people in my community, personally, in the community that we have right here, have been crying out for. Every time that we received a nerf, every time that we received a buff that breaks some aspect of our PVE and PvP, we got really angry because they messed with the builds that we were making. Now they change, they switch the PvP and PVE balancing, and this is just the beginning, as they say. Most of the things when it comes to PvP and PVE, they are still going to be tweaking quite a lot, but the main focus, the huge focus, there was a huge nerf, big nerf when it comes to PvP for using crossbows, exploding ammunition and spells. So even if there's still going to be quite a lot of people that is going to be spamming spells and what have you, they shouldn't be as deadly as they used to be. Now, one of the nerfs that the explosive ammunition suffered is that they cost more. Instead of 4 ammunition, they cost 10 ammunition, so you cannot be spamming it. Although still, I do not see this is fixed of an issue. What I would like to see in here is like the hitbox. The hitbox, it's mainly, me personally, that's just how I feel, dude. When it comes to spells, when it comes to explosions, it's the hitbox, because it doesn't feel like a proper soul. It doesn't feel like I have any chance to dodge it. That's what they should be focusing on, at least in my point of view. But hey, at least they are trying. I've said several times, if you manage to pinpoint the hitbox, if I manage to dodge properly and avoid those spells, that's ideal. That's what I want. I want to be a skillful player that manages to avoid all of that. That's just me. At least they are addressing this. And when it comes to PvE, the spells should be back to normal, and also the exploding ammunition that you have on your crossbows, it should also be back to normal. As a matter of fact, there was a huge buff when it comes to the ammunition of that specific stuff on PvE, because they increase the damage by, like, they double the damage back again of the exploding and shattering ammo. They decrease again the cost of ammunition of from 10 to 4. So the one thing is that the ammo costs more while you are on PvP, and it deals less damage. While you're doing PvE, the ammo should cost less, and it deals more damage, nearly double the damage that it's supposed to be dealing in PvP. So that's very highly appreciated. And now there's also the bosses. The bosses suffered a huge buff. That is one of the things that we were complaining as well. We were complaining that the game was just too easy. The real difficulty of this game was traversing the bosses, and at least now they said that they have finished. The bosses should be on a level that they want for them to be. They should be now, at the very least, at the level that they want them to be. They increase basic stuff from them. There's not much of things when it comes to the AI and the actions that the bosses will perform during the boss fights, but most of the non-main bosses have received a health boost ranging from 10 to 20% depending on the player's game, depending on the New Game Plus that you are in, depending on the overall place that you are. All of those non-main bosses have also received a 10% boost to their damage output. And then there's quite a lot of them that, like the Unbroken Promise, the Light Reaper, that now has a little bit more health with a 10% increase on the health. And then on the final part of the combat, he's going to be a little bit more aggressive, so AI was a little bit touched in here as well. And then we have the behavior enhancement for the Sunless Monarch that a lot of people were like not feeling that one of the final bosses was actually that difficult. Now they gave him a little bit more health. They increased the damage of the attacks that he does. And remember that this is all paired up with the previous buffs that the bosses have suffered. Like right now in this patch, they just changed stats for the bosses, damage output, the health bar of the boss. But in previous patches, remember that we have also had some buffs to the bosses' AI, where they do different things. They are more aggressive, they do different movesets, they have, well, not different movesets, but they alter them a little bit more, so they are a little bit more unpredictable, and they do things to actually counter what is it that you are doing to them. So if you pair that up, the bosses should now feel like a proper challenge, and I think that it should be something that it should be enjoyable at the very least now. And finally, this is just concerning for PC users. They are still working on implementing frame generation back again. Me personally, I do not like to use frame generation that much in any of my games because you can still see that ghosting of frames that you see around here, and still they are working for it to work properly in the game. You can turn it on by tampering on the game files that you have on your PC. The instructions are on the patch notes, but they are still working on implementing it back again as a default option of the game. And before we continue, like always, I just would like to invite you to our Discord community, where we always have people helping each other. I'm always helping people right there, trading for weapons, materials, stuff. So if you enjoy this game, we're also going to be covering the next major RPGs that we have on the industry. So you're very much welcome to join us in there. And like the video, subscribe to the channel if no one you think you're a gorgeous and beautiful person. You are indeed a gorgeous and beautiful person. I will be seeing you goddamn gorgeous and beautiful people in the next one. Have a beautiful day. Goodbye.